temple or church or mosque facilities to run off the magazine for me. Can we borrow your duplicating facilities? I got round to, there were 3 boys in my class. One was an Orthodox Jew, one was a liberal Jew, and another one was a Muslim. I asked the Orthodox Jew, can he help me? And first of all, I said to him, Shalom, because I thought this is a greeting of peace, and he will appreciate that. And he got very angry with me. He said, you're a Gentile. You're not allowed to say Shalom. So we immediately got on the wrong foot. I said, well, I'm sorry, I was just trying to be friendly, but this is my proposal. And he said, no, I can't help you. He said, well, there's enough Jews already. We don't want to convert people into Judaism. So I thought, this is very strange. And then I asked another friend who was a liberal Jew. He was a very jolly fellow. We got on very well together. He was a great friend. We used to go out quite a lot together. And I asked him, I said, look, this is my proposal. Can you write something about Judaism and also print this magazine for me? And he said, well, I'd like to help you, but we're very liberal Jews, and we don't actually know very much about the religion anyway, so I'm not going to be able to write a good article for you. Okay. And then I went to see another boy in my class. His name was Arif Nasser. And I said, Assalamu alaikum. And he said, Wa alaikum salam. I said, you don't mind me saying assalam? No? I'm happy, I'm very happy. And I gave him my project. And he said, that's great, I can help you, because I belong to the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and my father is actually responsible for printing the magazine, Akhbari Ahmadiyya, the Ahmadiyya Bulletin, and he runs the printing press. So of course I'd be happy to meet you. Why don't you come along to the mosque? And he was the first person to say yes to my proposal. Actually the magazine, nothing happened with the magazine, it died because I got too much interested in Ahmadiyya. And so it was coming along, I got into the habit of going to the mosque, taking part in the Sunday seminars, which was a wonderful institution that Sir Zafrullah Khan started, which was to get young people in Iran to talk about any topic under the sun, politics, religion, whatever it may be, and also to bring in invited guests to present their point of view and to discuss it and to try and bring the Islamic perspective to it. So this was the bait and this was the hook and this is what caught me. It took me about a year after having become convinced intellectually that the Ahmadiyya interpretation of Islam was satisfying to me. But because I was a young man, I was only 16 by this time, I thought, look, I'm too young. I don't know, this is such a big stage in my life to change my religion. I want time to really be sure. So I waited for about a year until one morning it hit me, look, I can't go back now, I've got to. If I don't take this step, I'll be making a big mistake, because I'll be a hypocrite, and I don't want to be a hypocrite. So I've got to do it. And that was a wonderful morning. It started out a little bit of rain, and I was in the park, and then I walked towards the mosque, the Fazl Mosque. And then I took the bet, and it was perhaps the happiest day in my life. Now, how did my friends and family react? Well, my friends couldn't care less. I think most of my friends, he's the same person we've always known, just got to call him Rafique now, okay. My mother was fine, she had no problem, but my father, he was very upset. He thought I'd made a very, very big mistake. And for many years, in fact, he didn't talk with me. And I think the reason was, he had served in the British Army in India, in the British Raj, in the 1930s. And he'd seen the intercommunal conflicts between Muslims and Hindus. And he'd seen some of the worst excesses committed in the name of Islam. And he felt that if I was joining this, I would be making a very, very big mistake. And it would be going against all his principles of organized religion. Well, I'm going to skip over your question about what was one of the most significant things in making me an Ahmadi, because I think it was really a realization that this is who I was, this is where I belonged. When I got the letter from Khalifa Salis saying, I suggest your name Rafique Mahmood, I was delighted. I learned what these words meant, and the realization that I had at last an identity, a place, somewhere that I belonged. And I think that had a very, very profound effect on me. How have I benefited from being an Ahmadi? Well, it's difficult to say, because I don't know what I would have been, how I would have panned out otherwise, and it's a bit of a hypothetical question. But I can tell you one incident. I've had a few ups and downs in my life, and I remember once I was walking in the streets of London in the rain. I didn't have a home. I'd lost my family. My marriage was finished. I was penniless. It was raining. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was walking through the streets of East London. And I was feeling very depressed and sad, and I didn't know what to do. And I saw a drunk in the gutter. And it was raining, he was wet. I thought, unless I help him, he could die, he could get pneumonia, he could become very ill. I rang, there was a telephone box. I rang, I didn't even have any money. I didn't want to dial 999, I wanted to speak with the local police station. I asked the operator, I said, look, I haven't got any money, can you put me through to the local police station? And I told them, I said, look, there is somebody here who is in the gutter, can you please pick him up, put him in the cells overnight so that he can dry out? And they did. And then I thought to myself,